Panthers take on the Jets in their first preseason game.
WSIC weather: increasing clouds today with a chance of an afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm and a high of 86. More rains possible tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 68. Sunny and 92 tomorrow. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Fit, active, healthy, happy, enjoying the prime of your life. Looking out for your health and wellness. This is Health Talk with Fred Lowry from Lowry Drug in Statesville. Call now to ask Fred your health questions. 704-873-1400. 704-873-1400. You can also visit Fred at his store, conveniently located on Hartness Road in Statesville.
Greetings all, this is Fred Lowry. I'm a pharmacist and doctor of natural medicine from Lowry Drug on Hartness Road in Statesville. Established in 1959, we offer a traditional pharmacy with a state-of-the-art compounding laboratory. We offer a full line of medical equipment, supplies, full line of nutritional herbs, essential oils, homeopathics, and more. Come see us there. I am here with Joe Berg, producer for this program. This program is for educational and informational purposes. It does not constitute individual medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or a health problem or disease. You are in charge of your health and have more to do with your life and health outcomes on an everyday basis than myself, your pharmacist, or your physician. So I do encourage you to take care and take charge of your health. We have a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to talk about cell phones, electromagnetic fields, and many other things. I think I'm going to start out with it's kind of a bombshell, I think, although not really, related to the what we might call the Vidco vax antibodies. Last week, there was a abstract study that came out from the Department of Pediatrics, University of Colorado, and it suggests that vaccinated individuals can transmit antibodies generated through the mRNA COVID or Vidco vaccinations to unvaccinated individuals through aerosols. We call the transmission of viral particles through normal means of shedding, and there's a lot of papers and documentation on that phenomenon with other vaccinations. So basically it has to do with aerosols that may occur naturally that suspend particles or droplets in the air, such as airborne dust, mist, fumes, smoke, that could be absorbed either by inhalation or on the skin. I'm not sure about the skin thing. I don't know that there's anything that, or a paper that actually demonstrates or documents that, but nonetheless, that's what is here. And basically, they were looking at the Vidco type antibodies from mask, and they identified immunoglobulins, antibodies in the saliva of those vaccinated and on their mask. So that was step one. They also did nasal swabs from unvaccinated children living in vaccinated homes, unvaccinated homes, and COVID positive households. The results showed that high IgG antibodies in the noses of the vaccinated parents was significantly associated with an increase in nasal IgG with the unvaccinated child in the same household, especially when compared to the complete deficit of these antibodies detected in nasal swabs obtained from children in non-vaccinated families. So basically, it's demonstrating what the phenomenon of shedding called passive immunization, where antibodies, primarily IgA, are actually exchanged between individuals through respiratory droplets. So this is pretty interesting. When all this started coming out, there had been actual experiments on how to vaccinate populations in the wildlife. And one of the experiments was on an island with rabbits, so you obviously can't catch all the rabbits on a particular piece of property. So the concept was, if you could get some of them and vaccinate them, then they would be able to spread that particular antibody throughout the population, eventually through contact, which they were actually able to demonstrate. So it's might be shocking for some. Information that you should know. I don't share this with the concept of trying to make people fearful, but we do need to know about the things that can impact us. So one other thing along the line of this VidCo concept is, let's see, it was what's the date here? This just came out. There was an FDA attorney, lawyer, that has just now said that doctors are free to prescribe ivermectin to treat COVID. The FDA explicitly, this is a quote, explicitly recognizes that doctors do have the authority to prescribe ivermectin to treat COVID. This is according to the Department of Justice lawyer representing the FDA. So, during the pandemic, the FDA, was talking about just recommending that people just stop using that it's horseworm but what happened was 3 lawyers brought a case that alleged that the FDA unlawfully interfered with their practice of medicine with these statements. So the fundamental issue was that after the FDA approves a human drug for sale, it does not then have the authority to interfere with how the drug is used within the patient-doctor relationship. So, of course, I think the date here, August 21 of 2021, they had posted that you are not a horse, you're not a cow, seriously, y'all, just stop it. I guess that the y'all was because they were from they're in Atlanta, perhaps. Who knows? But anyway, of course, ivermectin has been used as an anti-parasitic for humans and animals for years, and so the FDA is now clearly acknowledging that doctors have the authority to prescribe ivermectin for the treatment of COVID, and that falls under the category of off-label prescribing, which means a doctor sees the use of something that maybe it wasn't actually approved for, and that's a very common practice within the scope of practice for any physician in the country. So I think we're coming up on a break here. This is Fred Lowry, pharmacist and doctor of natural medicine. We'll be right back.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Just a few more weeks until Kane Center for the Arts' first performance of the 2024 fall season lineup. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing Friday, August 25th. The show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 fall season. Buy your season tickets now at kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Looking for something fun to do with your kids this summer? Birkdale Buds is hosting their weekly Playtime in the Plaza. Bring your preschool-aged bud for playtime between 10:30 and 12 noon every Wednesday through October. The activities include games, face painting, storytellers, magicians, arts and crafts, plus more. There's no cost and no registration required. Bring a blanket and come join the fun. For more details, visit birkdalevillage.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic Downtown Walking Tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more details, visit downtownmooresville.com. Looking for a night out on the town? Cornelius' second Friday Street Festival series continues, starting at Oak Street Mill at 6 p.m. The second Friday Street Festival series is ongoing through October. Got an upcoming event you'd like everyone to know about? Yard and estate sales, nonprofit fundraisers, and everything in between? Go to WSICnews.com and click on Events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, we'll see increasing clouds and a high of 86. Tonight, 30% chance of showers after 7, mostly clear, low of 68. On Saturday, we may have some patchy fog before 9. Otherwise, it's going to be a mostly sunny day with a high of 92. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low around 72. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Breaking news, expert analysis, and the stories that matter most, all in one place.
I totally acknowledge seeing flames is a scary situation.
WSIC News Talk Now. If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the Community Calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Welcome back. We're talking about your health. So the next thing on the agenda here, there was a thing that came out about energy drinks and brain function. I mean, obviously there's a popular thing to take these energy products. I think it's about a $14 billion market with caffeine and amino acids and herbal extracts for to improve your focus and motivation with every sip. So it's one of those things, though, that could have some downsides, obviously, and you're getting really more chemicals there than your brain can take, and what that does is aids the cells, depletes nutrients, and makes you not want to eat things. So there is an association with these energy drinks and neurodegenerative disorders and brain aging, which we certainly don't want. High sugar intake has been linked to an increase in insulin resistance. Basically, insulin resistance prevents the cells throughout the body, including the brain, from using or absorbing adequate glucose. And by the way, the brain runs on glucose. as a fuel, so that is important. So insulin resistance also contributes to the advancement of Alzheimer's disease. They're often packaged in aluminum packaging. Of course, aluminum is a neurotoxin and also associated with Alzheimer's disease. Of course, we do have adults with attention deficit disorder, which, by the way, there's some homeopathics that are helpful for that. We've got a couple. One of them's called Focus HP, FCS. But of course, all these drinks have these dyes and these colors in them, and they're common allergens. They can decrease the absorption of minerals. They are associated with attention deficit disorder and hyperactivity in children. Of course, sugar crashes are real. You ever had a sugar crash, Joe?
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody has. So overall, it's just really not a great thing. There actually been countries that have banned the sale of these products. So along that line, a lot of products are made with high fructose corn syrup. Bad stuff for us, and there has been an association with high fructose corn syrup intake and increased uric acid in the body. So that is associated with gout. So people that are taking allopurinol as a preventative for gout, allopurinol interferes with the body's ability to make uric acid. They definitely should avoid high fructose corn syrups, and of course I've always recommended staying away from soft drinks for many obvious reasons. But this is also, this high serum uric acid is a biomarker for cardiovascular disease, and it's something to really pay attention to when you think about creating illness and having to take drugs because of the foods that you eat. Not so good. So the rest of the program is going to be about electromagnetic fields. We hear about that, and it almost doesn't seem real. We know it's a problem. We've been told it's a problem, but what's it really doing? So I'd made the recommendation and had tried to follow it for a little while of turning off my Wi-Fi at night while I sleep, because it has been shown to interfere with sleep. But I got out of the habit of doing that. But I ran across this little EMF meter. It is a GQ EMF-390. GQ EMF-390. It wasn't too expensive. And it measures radio frequencies, electrical fields, and EMFs, electromagnetic fields. So I took this meter in the home and put it on my pillow on the bed, and it was surprised that it had a pretty high EMF reading on it. It was it pinged out as being high. It was my bed's about 9 feet, 10 feet maybe from that Wi-Fi router. There's a wall there. Of course, EMFs travel through walls. And so I went and turned it off, and it went down quite readily to practically nothing.
How significant was the drop when you unplugged it?
Oh, it went from being high to below normal, really? to not being there.
And what is high on that? Is it like a certain number, or?
Well, it comes with this card, and it'll tell you when it reads high, but there's frequencies like EMF, and it's measured in, I think, it may be, it's MGs, which I think is micro Gauss, G-A-U-S, is that?
I've never heard of that.
You're the radio guy. And that's not recommended staying in for a long time, but if it gets over 100, it says just avoid staying in that area. So, right in here right now it's pinging about 2. So it's kind of in the normal range. So anyway, this meter gave me a way of being able to see how things work with that. And I've had this Safe Sleeve. I'm not associated with Safe Sleeve. It's safesleeve.com. But it is a cell phone cover. And, when it's got a door on it, and you can actually, if you have to, hold it up to your head and not get severe exposure. It was supposed to, but I didn't really know for sure, I didn't have a way to measure it. So I put it on a chair in the middle of the room and measured it with both the door closed on that and with the door open. And there wasn't a significant difference. And then if you make a phone call on that, it goes quite high at that point in time. And door closed, door open made a significant difference there. So
that's so crazy because you can't see it, and that's what makes it so, I guess, scary.
Well, electromagnetic fields are part of nature.
Right.
It's part of, what you think you can see in your perception of color is a frequency. So, on the high, you've got infrared and ultraviolet on each end of that spectrum, and most of that is in the category of non-ionized radiation. Ionized radiation would be X-ray, CAT scan, radioactive material, that kind of thing. So it really, really does make a difference. Now, the thing that made me more interested in this too is that we're seeing a tremendous number of people now with heart problems, probably associated with that first subject I was talking about, and could also be related to electromagnetic fields, the cell towers, 5G, and by the way, 5G emitters also emit to the 3G, 4G.
Really?
That's my understanding. It's not just 5G, and so there's an ongoing debate about which one's worse.
Yeah, I remember hearing all about that when they first started coming out with 5G and how much of the field they're putting out.
Well, part of the problem is it's closer to you, and so that can be an issue. But it's been known that EMS can cause harm to your heart, these electromagnetic fields, and so it's kind of like we're in this electromagnetic field smog with all these frequencies around us. So people that are carrying their cell phone in their pockets, women carry them on different parts of the clothing. I personally know a gentleman that carried his cell phone in his pocket, and he ended up with a cancer right under it.
Oh, wow.
So there are cancers associated with electromagnetic fields, cell phone use, brain cancers. And brain cancers are pretty slow moving, so long association with that. And then we've got smart meters in our homes, now. And so if you're hopefully your bedroom is not on the other side, one side or the other of one of those smart meters, because it's transmitting information.
Wow.
All the time, and a lot of those are pretty strong, and so we're also very concerned about how that impacts children. And you think about these baby monitors, wireless monitors that are just inches from the baby's head. One thing we're coming up on a break here. We're going to come back and talk more about this. It's a pretty interesting subject, and stay tuned.
Be Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now. Local news and weather now on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC News Talk Now.
I'm Mike Jackson, WSIC News. Nearly 150 inmates relocated yesterday from the North Mecklenburg County Detention Center after the U.S. Marshal's Office refused to accept a rate increase. The Mecklenburg Sheriff's Office submitted the requested per diem rate increase from $160 to $191 per day to the USMS on February 12th. The current rate has been in place since June of 2020. And WNCN reporting that as wildfires continue to devastate the Hawaiian island of Maui, the American Red Cross North Carolina region is sending a team to assist trained workers already in Hawaii in aiding those who are affected. Those volunteers will work in the shelters housing displaced people and will help in assessing the damage, the news release said. Now with a look at sports, here's WSIC Sports Director Joe Berg.
Later on tonight, Charlotte FC takes on Inter Miami in their quarterfinal matchup in the League's Cup. And this weekend, NASCAR action from Indianapolis as the Cup Series takes on the road course from Indy.
WSIC weather: increasing clouds today, a chance of an afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm, and a high of 86. More rain possible tonight, partly cloudy, the low 68, then sunny and 92 tomorrow. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
Thinking of a new car and concerned about interest rates and inflation? Now is the time to see Black Automotive in Statesville. Black Automotive has the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 double crew cabs as low as 1.9% APR for 60 months. And you also get up to $3,000 total cash allowance. 2023 Buicks also with a low interest rate. New 2023 Buicks as low as 2.9% for 60 months. Arriving soon, too, the 2024 Buick Envista, a true premium crossover blending the versatility of a SUV and the handling of a sedan, and at a price you'll like. Black Automotive has plenty pre-owned to fit your budget, too. Whether it's Dodge, Ram, Buick, GMC, or more, it's Black Automotive, the Greater Car Trader off the Salisbury Road off 77 in Statesville.
Hi folks, Pat Shannon inviting you to join me for the Home Ad Show. We help you sell things, buy things, celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and have a lot of fun in the process. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11, here on News Talk WSIC.
Hello, America.
So we've got you talking, huh? WSIC News Talk Now. Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now. Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back. During the break here, we just tried Joe's phone here on the radio frequency device. It was showing a low number of milliwatts per meter squared, and when he made a phone call, it went from 3 to about 16.
That's pretty significant.
I really recommend, that if you're listening, go get a safe sleeve. Order one online. There may be other type devices, but
now can you hear through it if you have to take a phone call? That way it's still protecting you.
You can, but it's probably better to put it on speaker if you're allowed to do that.
Right.
And if you're, I don't recommend using a Bluetooth because that's radio frequences right
And
there.
that's always.
But you can use a wired device.
Okay.
So if wires are a little more inconvenient, but nonetheless.
Those are so 2010s.
Yeah.
Now we're to the wireless stuff.
Yeah. So same thing at home. Instead of using Wi-Fi, you can go with Ethernet wires directly to your computer. And by the way, when I use this device in front of my computer, it was pretty high.
Oh, I could imagine.
Electromagnetic field plus the radio frequencies.
And I'm sure having the Alexas and the Google Home systems, those probably, every time you use that, put out a bunch of, energy you don't want.
Yeah. So we don't need smart refrigerators.
Yeah.
Just keep my stuff cold and make me some ice, right?
You're right, yeah. Everything with that's putting out a field. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, it's a lot more than you think. Electromagnetic spectrum includes static electricity, magnets, power lines, radios, all that, infrared radiation, generally visible light, like we're talking about here. It's from the geeky side of this. If you think about this, what we perceive in the light that passes between the two of us or anybody else, or what you're seeing in front of you right now, is all frequency. It manifests itself as something that we can perceive. It's a pretty amazing concept that we just take for granted. And this is one of the things that when you talk about homeopathy and frequency, people don't really get it because there's no, in some cases there's no substance to it. Although there actually is, but it's a frequency, it's a waveform, and we're inundated with frequencies, and we just take them for granted. Just think about that. You say something, which you can't see your voice, but you hear it. It goes into that cell phone, probably to a tower, to a satellite, and bounces somewhere. Somebody receives it in the same order on the other side of the world. That's incredible.
Yeah, and the radio. Every
the radio.
channel is a different frequency.
We have no problem believing that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to medicine, we want to see substance. We want to see a milligram or something like that. That's just a sidelight. So we have this energy that's hitting your body, and it does cause changes. And one theory is that the electrical environment alters the voltage gate calcium channel. So there's drugs that are calcium channel blockers, and calcium channels work in muscles a lot of times. That's how muscles work, the influx of calcium going in and out of the cell. And so there's an association with these electromagnetic fields and these calcium channels. So EMFs have shown to both inhibit and activate these calcium channels. So that's probably one of the mechanisms. There's probably more, but we've also known that it can change DNA, and it's not like ionized radiation is like X-ray is known to change DNA. The mechanism for non-ionized radiation is probably oxidative stress. So there's oxidation that occurs, breakdown of the cells, and then you have damage to the DNA. So, but the interesting thing is electromagnetic fields are part of the Earth. So you probably never heard of Schumann's frequencies or resonance, but basically the lightning that hits the Earth creates a weak electromagnetic field. And when you hear about people earthing or getting their bare feet on the Earth to pick up, it actually picks up electromagnetic fields, but these are natural. They're much weaker, and they're constant. Whereas telecommunications is erratic, pulsing. It's kind of like noise versus music, if you will. And we talked about this before, but cell phones are constantly pinging for information. So you can see that with this device. If you hold it in front of a cell phone, you'll see that it's low and then it jumps up back and forth. So it's constantly pinging things. So even 2G, 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, they are linked to oxidative stress, inflammation, and cellular damage. So the smartphones actually, there is an industry standard. We're not supposed to exceed the exposure of 1.6 watts per kilogram. Translate that into basically most smartphones already exceed the daily safety data.
Oh man. Already? And it's just from turning on your phone or getting a phone call?
Just from turning on your phone, yeah.
Oh wow.
So scientists have been concerned about these 5G systems for many years. I mean, it's just when you think about the risk, the frequency, all these things, we just don't have a full appreciation for it. We can just add that to the list of all the other things that I might talk about. But one of the points is to try to minimize some of this stuff. You can turn your Wi-Fi off at night.
You can get one of those sleeves for your phone.
You can get a sleeve for your phone.
What about the difference between just like using the phone and sending a simple text message? Does that drastically change the electromagnetic field that's going out?
Yeah, I think it does. It's going to be less. Of course, texting, I think, was created to communicate miscommunication with people as far as their intent. And, great for I'll see you in 10 minutes, but not long things. But so what that boils down to is that it's all about the length of exposure and the intensity of exposure. So the other thing is a text message, you're not going to put that up to your head. So the further you are away from it, and it's shorter exposure. But I will tell you, in my vehicle, I put the cell phone up on the dash.
Do you have a holder for it, or
got a holder for it?
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, for travel.
Yep, directions.
And I made a phone call. I haven't checked it for the travel thing, but it really bumped up the radio frequencies, the EMFs that I was picking up there.
Is it through Bluetooth in the car, or was it just from speakerphone?
It was Bluetooth in the car.
Wow, so that really, because you got not only the phone call, but then the Bluetooth also, I'm sure.
Yeah,
because it's always trying to connect with itself.
Well, it's a really convenient thing.
Oh yeah,
hands free, and the speakers on the phone really aren't. A lot of times may not be loud enough, so it definitely makes a difference. And the other thing is you can you don't want your cell phone close to your head at night, but you can also put it on airplane mode, and I've done that, and you can tell a difference with that too. So it's not looking for signals.
What about when it's charging versus not charging?
I haven't checked that. But if you're going to be close to your regular electromagnetic field with so in your house there's wiring, and so you've got an electromagnetic field in the walls there.
Right.
So in the smart meter thing, it's really not terrible, but it is pinging all the time. We'll be back.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Just a few more weeks until Kane Center for the Arts' first performance of the 2024 fall season lineup. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing Friday, August 25th. The show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 fall season. Buy your season tickets now at kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Looking for something fun to do with your kids this summer? Birkdale Buds is hosting their weekly Playtime in the Plaza. Bring your preschool-aged bud for playtime between 10:30 and 12 noon every Wednesday through October. The activities include games, face painting, storytellers, magicians, arts and crafts, plus more. There's no cost and no registration required. Bring a blanket and come join the fun. For more details, visit birkdalevillage.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic Downtown Walking Tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more details, visit downtownmooresville.com. Looking for a night out on the town? Cornelius' second Friday Street Festival series continues, starting at Oak Street Mill at 6 p.m. The second Friday Street Festival series is ongoing through October. Got an upcoming event you'd like everyone to know about? Yard and estate sales, nonprofit fundraisers, and everything in between? Go to WSICnews.com and click on Events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, we'll see increasing clouds and a high of 86. Tonight, 30% chance of showers after 7, mostly clear, low of 68. On Saturday, we may have some patchy fog before 9. Otherwise, it's going to be a mostly sunny day with a high of 92. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low around 72. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
Quality Car Care at 2040 Old Mountain Road is your local Toyota specialist and a licensed NC inspection station. View their pre-owned inventory at qualitycarcarestatesville.com. 704-902-7678.
Grow in your faith with biblical teaching from the Word of God. Listen to Pastor Steve Pope from Calvary Baptist Church, Sunday mornings at 9 here on News Talk WSIC, or listen on demand at WSICnews.com.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the community calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community. Have your say.
Trusting the government to fix anything is a joke.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back. We're talking about things that are seen and unseen, I guess. Electromagnetic fields, getting away from that might be difficult. We were talking off air about going for hikes. I used to backpack the Limmel Gorge, and there's no cell communication there. There's no point in even carrying your phone.
Yeah, but you're safe from the electromagnetic field.
Yeah, well, there is something that feels good about being outdoors, and
always.
So that would be another recommendation. Get outside.
That's a recommendation always, right? You need that.
Yeah.
What are the vitamins from the sun you get? Vitamin D?
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're not wearing sunscreen.
Really? Sunscreen blocks it?
Well, it's going to block the sun.
Right.
The sun radiation is an electromagnetic field.
Yes, it is.
It carries energy.
It's all bad for you.
Well, no, that part is good for you.
Is it? Oh, well, yeah, because it's got
you remember
D.
my recommendation, get a big glass jar, put it out in the sun, use that water to drink. It's energizing, that water.
I still haven't tried that.
With electromagnetic field. Well, are you?
I'm going to have to now.
Yeah. So, obviously, all these telecommunication networks cause damage. There's been studies about this since 1970, including issues around infertility, neuropsychiatric problems, and cancer. So, neuropsychiatric problems kind of include things like anxiety, depression, autism. We were talking about these calcium channel, voltage gate calcium channels. There's a lot of studies that show massive changes in the structure of the neurons, including cell death and things in the synaptic dysfunction. So the synapses of the nerves are these gaps in the nerves, and that's how the body controls the information. If if the nerves were just one pipeline, it couldn't control it. So there's inhibitory neurotransmitters that slows down transmission, and excitatory neurotransmitters that speeds up information. So one other thing thought about in theory, if you've had some exposure to graphene, that in theory can receive and amplify electromagnetic fields. So that is a potential problem. So when you think about it, the people that have anxiety, depression, they're nutritionally compromised, which, by the way, if your nutritional status is good, these things are going to affect you less, because you're not, your body's able to deal with the oxidation and those changes. So, what's everybody's complaint? Tired all the time, I can't sleep, can't concentrate, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, can't remember things.
Sounds like something everybody says every single day.
Right. So the cardiac effects, keep in mind, I have seen a tremendous number of people coming in with these cardiac issues, and it's probably related to these calcium channels. Your heart is very sensitive to electromagnetic fields. Your heart operates on electricity. So you see the cardiac arrhythmias, atrial fibrillation, premature atrial contractions, tachycardia, bradycardia. These are all things that we have a lot of people experiencing right now. Looks like we got a call. Let's take it. Hello, caller. This is Fred. Who are we speaking with here?
Dr. Fred, how we doing, sir?
Sounds like Justin.
How we doing? Look, you've been testing under the pillow with the electromagnetic field. Here's the concern. So if there's issues, all these electric vehicles going on in the world right now, is everyone about to just get, messed up because of all the EV vehicles driving on the road, all these extra frequencies they're putting out everywhere?
That's an interesting question. And, I am glad that we did decide to take your call, because since you own the station, we could not deny this one, right?
That's true. No, yeah, you really had no choice. This is, everybody can put this on me, not you.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I haven't thought about that. I think the batteries for those cars are underneath the seats. Is that like the Teslas?
Yeah, the Teslas and all these other, you got Chevy making an electric car. I think, Ford's got plenty of electric vehicles coming out.
Yeah, they
VW.
can't. Ford can't sell them though.
Well, that's true. Well, I think they've pre-sold them. I just don't think they've actually distributed any, right?
Right. Well, it is a very good point because you are sitting on a battery, and a battery has an electromagnetic field.
I think we need to do some research. Let's stick that meter device under all these people's bums, and let's see what happens over time.
You send me some money, and I'll set up a study.
I like that. I like official Dr. Fred. They've got to come by Lowry Drug on Hardness Road and check in every week to get tested. You could do because everyone's used to being poked and prodded now for a few years, shoving things up people's nostrils, back of the throat. They should be used to it by now, right? So it shouldn't be that bad to test.
Yeah. So, are you going to go home and make sure you get rid of those devices that you're monitoring your children with? And
I'm going to at least unplug my Wi-Fi now. I've learned that much from you, at least.
Well, it's kind of interesting. The first time I did that, on the second night, it did seem like I slept a little better, but that's just too subjective to make that claim. But it seemed that way.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Dr. Fred. Always love your show. Thank you for riding with us still. And I always enjoy the knowledge you bring. You've got such a deep understanding of so many topics. And so we're happy to partner with you, and we're just grateful for the time that you give us each week, Dr. Fred.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And you can call anytime, okay?
Thank you. I'm going to tell Joe Berg you said that.
Yeah.
I am right here, so I can hear the conversation.
I'm sorry. Someone's interrupting us right now, Dr. Fred. I'm sorry. I'll get back to you later.
All right. Thanks. Okay, so... And Justin, by the way, electromagnetic fields do cause infertility, so we want you to be aware of that.
Actually, going back to what he said about the cars, not only the battery in the car, but all of those newer electric cars, they all have these shiny screens, and it's like everything in there is electric. Like you could connect your phone to it now and Bluetooth it and Apple Play. It's all crazy.
Well, it is a computer screen. It amazes me how fast those little cars are too. So,
have you ever driven a Tesla?
No, my son-in-law has one, and so I've ridden with him. And they have pretty good acceleration.
I rode in one time, and I could not believe how fast those things go.
Yeah. So here was something that is kind of interesting. A German study was checking out the effects of ionized radiation equivalent to 1,600 chest x-rays and compared it to 24 hours continuous cell phone exposure. And apparently the amounts of DNA breakdown was pretty close to the same. I'm not sure, I haven't run that study down as part of a report here. So I'm not sure that that's the thing, but the bottom line here really is to take practical strategies to limit your exposure. Cell towers are certainly a major concern. Children around these devices, major concern. Wireless headsets, major concern. These things really have an impact, and it's one of those things you can't really measure per se, in terms of your body. But in this day and age, you really have to protect yourself as much as you can from things that we know about. If you want to get you one of these meters, they're not too expensive. GQ EMF 390. It's an interesting experiment. I'm Fred Lowry, pharmacist, I can't talk, and doctor of natural medicine, Lowry Drug in Statesville. Come see us.
The new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC, States